It starts with the wind. You're alone, sitting in the school's nurse's office, legs stretched out, the pale overhead lights buzzing softly above you. You're not sick, just skipping track practice again. You never really liked running for the sake of running. Outside the window, the sun is low. Orange and gold leak into the sky, catching on the rusted gates of the schoolyard. You're thinking about your grandfather. He's in the hospital again. This time feels worse. You visit him after school. He's hooked up to the usual machines, beeping, blinking, quietly counting down something you can't see. You sit beside him. He grumbles like always. But then he says something different. Something that sticks. Yuji, you're strong. Help people. You glance up. He's staring straight ahead. Die surrounded by others. Don't end up like me. You don't know what to say, so you just nod. He dies a few minutes later, quietly, like a candle burning out in a sealed room. That night, the air feels colder. You walk home alone, his words circling your thoughts like birds that won't land. You don't cry, not yet. Instead, you look up at the stars and whisper a promise. I'll help people. You mean it. Even if you don't know how yet. The next day at school, something's off. Fushiguro shows up, tall, dark hair, quiet. He's not from your school, but he's looking for something. Or someone. He asks about a cursed object. You laugh it off at first, thinking it's some club thing. But when he mentions your occult friends, your stomach twists. You remember the weird thing they unwrapped last night. The thing you joked about? Wrapped in black fabric, covered in old paper talismans. You thought it was fake. But Fushiguro looks serious. Dead serious. He says, if they remove the seal, they're going to die. You run. Through the gates. Across the field. To the school. And you feel it before you even open the door. The air is wrong. Heavy. Rotten. You sprint up the stairs, heart pounding. Screams echo down the hall. Your friends are cornered. And something you can't even describe is crawling along the ceiling, eyes glowing, skin pulsing. A curse. You don't think. You act. Grabbing the closest thing you can, metal pipe maybe, and charging at the thing like a madman. It knocks you back hard. But you don't stop, because your friends are screaming, and you swore you'd help people. Fushiguro appears, slamming the creature into a wall with his shadow dogs. But it's too strong. He's struggling. You reach into your pocket and pull out the object the thing your friends unwrapped. It pulses in your hand. A cursed finger. Ryomen Sukuna. You don't understand what it means. But Fushiguro's down. And that thing is coming again. You make a choice. A wild, reckless, irreversible choice. You swallow it. Pain. White hot and blinding. Your body jerks. Power floods your veins like fire. And suddenly, you're standing upright. Laughing. But it's not your laugh. Your fingers twitch. Your voice deepens. Your eyes burn red. And something inside you smiles. Sukuna is awake. And you are no longer alone. The first thing you feel is wrong. Like your body's still yours, but you're watching from behind a fogged-up window. You blink. But it's not you moving. You flex your fingers, but they feel different. Longer, sharper. The curse inside you, Sukuna, is laughing. Not with joy, with hunger. He stretches your arms out like he's putting on an old coat and says, "It's been a long time." You try to scream, but nothing comes out. You try to move your legs, but they don't respond. You're awake. You're aware, but you're not in control. The creature in the hallway, the curse, doesn't even have time to run. Sukuna slices it apart like it's paper. One swipe, no effort. Blood sprays across the wall like red paint. He sighs, disappointing. And then he grins your grin, but twisted. Let's have more fun. He leaps from the building. You watch helplessly as he tears across the schoolyard, looking for something else to kill. But you fight, not with your fists, with your mind. You push hard, like you're clawing your way back from drowning. You shout inside your own head, "Get out!" Sukuna growls. Interesting. You're awake. And for the briefest second, he hesitates. That's all you need. You slam back into control. Your eyes return to normal. Your fingers stop twitching. And suddenly, it's just you again. Breathing hard, standing in the grass, hands shaking, alive. Then the Jujutsu sorcerers arrive. The higher-ups. They don't ask questions. They just see you, and what you've done, and what you might become. They want you executed. On the spot. Fushiguro defends you. He says you didn't know what the finger was, that you only wanted to help your friends, that you swallowed it to save lives. But Gojo arrives before they can argue further. White hair, blindfold. A smile, like he already knows the ending to a joke no one else has heard. He says, "Let's test something." You face off with him. You don't want to, but you're given no choice. You throw a punch. He disappears. You try again. He's behind you. No effort, just amusement. Then he tells you to let Sukuna out. Just for 10 seconds. You hesitate, but do it. And Sukuna doesn't waste time. He lunges at Gojo with a speed that doesn't seem human. But Gojo stops him, casually, effortlessly, like batting away a fly. Then you take control again. Panting, sweating, Gojo smiles and says, "Interesting. You might be useful." That night, they give you a choice. You can be executed now, or you can join Jujutsu Tech. Collect all of Sukuna's fingers, every last one, and then be executed once you've absorbed them all, so they can destroy Sukuna forever. You look at the floor, then at your hands. You think of your grandfather's final words, "Help people," and you say, "I'll do it." The train hums quietly beneath your seat. Outside, the countryside rushes past in a blur of green and gray. Gojo sits across from you, sipping a drink, acting like this is all completely normal. He smiles under his blindfold. "You nervous?" You shake your head, lie, but your hands are tight in your lap. He says, "You'll like the dorm. Food's decent, teachers are interesting, and the curses? Oh, they're delightful." You look out the window again. You're not scared of dying, but you're not sure you're ready to live like this either. Jujutsu Tech isn't what you expected. It looks more like an old temple than a school. Stone paths, wind chimes, bamboo groves. But under the surface, you can feel it. The tension, like the ground itself is holding its breath. You meet your classmates that day. First, there's Kugasaki Nobara. Confident, sharp-tongued. A city girl with a hammer in her purse and zero patience for small talk. She sizes you up and says, "So you're the idiot who ate Sukuna?" You nod. She smirks. "Cool." You're not sure if that means she likes you or not. Then there's Fushiguro again. He's still calm, still quiet. But this time, he nods at you like you belong here. That matters more than you expected. Your first mission comes fast. Gojo hands it to you like it's a field trip permission slip. "You three, exercise the curse. Don't die. That's it. You don't even get a map." It's an abandoned building in the outskirts. Gray, cracked walls, broken windows, a smell like mildew and blood. Fushiguro leads the way. Nobara doesn't flinch. You follow, trying to act like you've done this before. Inside, the curse hits fast. A malformed thing. Arms too long, teeth too many. It charges. Fushiguro takes the front, releasing his shadow dogs. Nobara pulls out nails and slams them into the walls. Her cursed technique lets her pin the creature from a distance. You try to fight too, but something's off. You hesitate, and the curse throws you across the room. You slam into the wall, cough, stand back up. Your ribs scream. But you're still breathing, still moving. And that's enough. You grab a piece of rebar and charge. No technique, just instinct. You drive it through the curse's neck. It screams and dies. You collapse next to it, panting. Nobara walks over, unimpressed. You've got guts. Zero skill, but guts. You grin. Thanks, I think. Later that night, you stare up at the stars outside your dorm window. Fushiguro's already asleep. Nobara's still complaining about the food. But all you can think about is the curse's eyes. How human they looked. How scared. You wonder how many more you'll have to face, and how long you can keep your promise. It's supposed to be another basic mission. That's what they say anyway. A simple cursed spirit haunting a juvenile detention center. Go in, exercise, get out. But the moment you and Fushiguro arrive, you feel it. Wrong, heavy, like the air is pressing down on your chest. Even the building groans. Old brick, flickering lights, and something pulsing behind the walls. You look at Fushiguro. He doesn't speak, he just nods once. You both step inside. There's another student with you. His name's Junpei. Quiet, untrained, the kind of kid who's more curious than ready. But you're told he's here to observe, to learn. Instead, he watches people die. The curse doesn't wait. It attacks the moment the door shuts behind you. You barely have time to see its massive, jagged limbs before the ground splits open beneath your feet. You fall, hard, down into black water and concrete. And when you sit up, you're alone. You shout Fushiguro's name. No answer. The hallway stretches on forever. You hear something dragging itself across tile. Slow, wet, closer. You run, heart pounding. You don't even know where you're going. You just need to find him. Find anyone. Then the curse finds you. It crashes through the wall, tall, twisted, eyes stacked like bricks across its head. It laughs, high and hollow. You don't have a weapon, no plan, just your fists. So you fight, you punch, you kick, you dodge barely. And every time you land a blow, it just grows stronger. It grabs you by the throat, slams you into the ground. You cough blood, can't breathe. Your vision blurs. You hear Fushiguro shouting somewhere above. Too far, too late. And then Sukuna. He stirs inside you, amused, pathetic. You beg him, silently, to help, but he says, "What's in it for me?" You whisper, "Take over. Just don't let my friends die." He grins, and everything goes black. When you wake up, the room is painted red. The curse is gone. What's left of it is scattered across the walls. Sukuna is standing there using your body, laughing at the silence. Then he turns to you inside your own head, says, "You owe me now." And with a snap of his fingers, your heart stops. You collapse, motionless, no breath, no pulse. Sukuna has vanished, and you are gone. Fushiguro finds you first, kneels beside you, tries CPR, screams your name. Nothing. Your eyes are open, but empty. He punches the floor once and says, "You idiot, you weren't supposed to die yet." Gojo arrives hours later. Too late. They zip the bag, carry you out of the building in silence. And just like that, your time as a sorcerer ends. Or so they think. There's no light, no tunnel, just silence. You float in it, weightless, like your body was left behind somewhere far away, and now only your thoughts remain. You remember the fight, the fear, the voice that wasn't yours, and the last thing you felt, your own heart stopping. Then you hear it, footsteps, soft but steady. And when you open your eyes, you're standing in a place that isn't real. Stone floors stretch out endlessly. Pillars disappear into a ceiling you can't see. In front of you, sitting calmly on a throne of bones and stone, is Sukuna. He grins. Welcome back. You try to speak, but the words don't come out right. It's like your voice is being filtered through water. He rises, steps toward you, and suddenly he's close. You see the marks along his jaw, the teeth too sharp, the eyes too still. I killed you, he says simply. You don't deny it. He folds his arms. But I also brought you here. I can give your life back. You tense. There's a catch. There's always a catch. He tells you his terms. A pact. A binding vow. He revives you. But someday, without warning, he'll take over your body again. For 1 minute. You won't remember it. And you won't be able to stop it. You stare at him. He raises an eyebrow. Take the deal. Or stay dead. You hate him. But you think of your friends. Fushiguro, Nobara, Gojo, and the people out there still being hunted by curses. You think of your grandfather's words. Help people. You grit your teeth and say yes. Sukuna smiles. Good boy. You wake up, gasping, like breaking the surface after drowning. The lights above you are warm, real. You're in a hospital bed. Machines beep softly beside you. Gojo is sitting in the corner, arms behind his head. He grins. Welcome back, Sleeping Beauty. You sit up slowly. Your body aches, but you're alive. Gojo tells you what happened, how they kept your death secret, how Fushiguro punched a hole in a wall when they zipped the body bag, how Nobara nearly broke a window in rage. You laugh quietly. Then Gojo's voice lowers. You can't tell them you're alive yet. You frown. What? He nods. Too risky. The higher-ups still want you executed. You're going to train in secret until we can protect you. You don't argue. You just ask, when do we start? The first few days are quiet. Gojo brings you food. He jokes. He trains you. Mostly, though. He waits. Waits until your legs stop shaking when you stand. Until you stop waking up gasping, heart pounding, remembering the feel of your heart stopping in your chest. He never pushes too hard. But you see it in his eyes. He's testing you. Training with Gojo is like trying to spar with lightning. He moves without warning. Talks with one hand in his pocket. Sometimes, he vanishes mid-sentence just to mess with you. But when he teaches, it's real and brutal. He shows you how cursed energy flows, how emotions feed power, how anger, fear, resolve, they all twist inside your body, fueling techniques you can barely control. But you're not like the others. You have raw strength, but no finesse. Cursed energy leaks from you like steam from a cracked pipe. Gojo watches with his head tilted. You're like a tank with a toddler driving it. You laugh, but he's not wrong. He gives you a focus, watching movies, rom-coms, horror, dramas, all while controlling your cursed energy. Stay calm during the horror, he says. Stay invested during the boring parts. Keep your energy flowing just right. It sounds ridiculous until you try it and fail over and over. Until finally, on the 15th rewatch of a terrible love triangle movie, you feel it. A rhythm, a flow, cursed energy settling. Meanwhile, the world keeps moving. Fushiguro and Nobara return to classes. New missions, new dangers, but they don't know you're alive. Not yet. You wish you could tell them, especially when you hear what's coming. A cursed womb, special grade, unearthed beneath a detention center. 3 first years sent to investigate. Fushiguro, Nobara, and a 3rd-year supervisor. You're listening from a distance, Gojo's phone on speaker. And when you hear the phrase, special grade, your blood runs cold, because even Gojo sounds tense. Get them out of there, he says. But it's already too late. You beg Gojo to let you go. He hesitates, then sighs. All right, Itadori. Time to see if death taught you anything. The building is worse than you imagined. Collapsed walls, mangled steel, cursed energy pouring out like smoke. You find Fushiguro first, alone, bleeding, trying to fight a creature that shouldn't exist. The special grade is horrifying. Twisted limbs, a face made of stitched eyes. It doesn't even notice you at first, until you scream. You charge, no hesitation, no holding back. You punch it hard enough to shatter the floor. It laughs. You're not here to test strength. You're here to protect. You scream for Nobara. No answer. She's been thrown somewhere deeper inside. You grab Fushiguro, shove him toward the exit. Get her out. He blinks. But I'll handle it. You say it calmly, and for once, he listens. The curse turns back to you and grins, like it knows. You clench your fists and whisper to the thing inside you, Sukuna, let's make a deal. The special grade curse stands tall, watching, waiting. You can feel it measuring you, like prey, like meat. You clench your fists tighter, and then you loosen them. You breathe, slowly. You say the words you swore you'd never say again. Sukuna, take over. There's silence for a heartbeat, then heat rushes through your chest, and Sukuna grins. You vanish from your own skin again, shoved into the passenger seat of your own body. It burns, and yet it feels easy. Sukuna stretches, laughs. Oh, I've missed this. The curse lunges, and he meets it faster than thought, sharper than air. Blood flies, walls split. The floor cracks open like ice beneath a hammer. Sukuna doesn't fight, he dances. The curse throws everything. It has claws, jaws, blasts of cursed energy. Sukuna grins wider. He slices through its attacks with lazy flicks of your fingers. At one point, he lets it hit him just to prove it doesn't matter. And then, he pulls out his trump card. Domain expansion. The words echo like thunder, and the world changes. You see it barely, from behind the glass of your own mind. A space made of bones and blood. A throne, and Sukuna seated upon it, like a king of death. The special grade doesn't even scream. It just ceases to be, cut apart neatly, perfectly, gone. When the domain collapses, it's quiet again. Only rubble, only blood. Only Sukuna, standing in the ruins, stretching your arms like it's the morning after a good nap. Then he looks down, at the spot on your palm, the one you made the vow over, and he smirks. I think I'll test it now. He plunges a hand into your chest. You feel it even from the inside. Agony. Like fire and knives and ice, all at once. You scream. Not out loud, you can't. Only in your head. He laughs. Don't worry. You'll wake up soon enough. But for now. And just like that, he's gone. You wake up hours later. Nobara is next to you, wrapped in bandages, bruised, but alive. Fushiguro is nearby too, head bowed, mumbling something under his breath. When he sees you open your eyes, he blinks like he doesn't believe it. Then he punches you in the shoulder. Idiot. You grin. I missed you too. Later, Gojo finds you sitting outside. staring at your hand, the one with the scar from the vow. You tell him Sukuna used it, that you didn't remember anything after, that the curse is getting stronger. Gojo listens, nods once, then says, "Good, that means you're ready." You look up. "Ready for what?" He smiles. "For the exchange event." You stand beneath the early morning sky, breathing in the cold air. It feels strange, being out in the open again, like you're finally allowed to exist after weeks in hiding. Fushiguro and Nobara are beside you. They don't say much, but the way they stand close solid says more than words ever could. You're back, and they're glad, even if Nobara tries to hide it with sarcasm. Gojo grins as he explains the exchange event. "Friendly competition," he says. "You'll spar, show off your progress, bond with the Kyoto students." Then he pauses. "And also, try not to get murdered." You laugh. Fushiguro doesn't. You arrive at the event, grounds a sprawling field near a forested temple complex. The Kyoto students are already there, 6 of them, each one radiating a quiet, dangerous confidence. You recognize a few by reputation. There's Todo Ioi, the muscle-bound brawler with a disturbing obsession with idols. He sizes you up like you're a steak on a silver platter, then asks the question you didn't expect. "What kind of girls do you like?" You blink. "Someone with a good personality, I guess." He freezes, then throws his head back and weeps. "My brother." He hugs you like you've known each other since birth. Nobara watches with visible disgust. Then there's Mai Zenin, sharp-tongued and colder than ice. She glares at you like you're a stain on her shoes. "Didn't you die?" You smile politely. "Yeah, got better." She scoffs. The event begins with a simple goal. Exorcise the most curses in the forest. Sounds easy. But the Kyoto team has other plans. It's an ambush, a planned one. You get separated from Fushiguro and Nobara almost immediately. The moment you're alone, 3 Kyoto students surround you. They don't attack, they just talk. Their mission isn't to beat you, it's to kill you. You, the vessel of Sukuna. They don't see a person, they see a threat. A ticking bomb, and their principal told them, "If you die now, the world might be safer." You try to reason with them, tell them you have control, that you've made a pact, that Sukuna's dormant. They don't care. The fight starts hard and fast. You hold back at first, not wanting to hurt them. But they don't return the favor. Then Todo arrives, laughing. He slams 2 of his teammates into the ground like rag dolls. "Back off," he growls. "This is my brother. I'll handle him." And just like that, you're in a one-on-one match with the strongest Kyoto student. He's fast, too fast, and his cursed energy hits like a freight train. Every punch rattles your bones. But he's not trying to kill you. He's teaching you with his fists. Mid-battle, he yells, "You have no technique, but you think like a sorcerer. That's why you'll survive." You punch him back. He grins wider. This is the weirdest fight you've ever had, but also one of the most honest. By the time the bell rings to end the first event, you're lying flat on your back. Todo flops down beside you, arms behind his head. "You've got potential," he says. Then more quietly, "But the others? They won't stop coming. Not until Sukuna's gone. And that means you too." You stare at the sky. Clouds drift slowly overhead. You wonder how many more people will try to kill you just for being what you are. The next event is supposed to be a team battle. You're supposed to regroup with Fushiguro and Nobara. Supposed to face off against Kyoto again, 1-on-1 or 2-on-2. But the signal never comes. Instead, the sky goes dark. Fast. Like a curtain drops overhead. The air thickens. Even the birds stop singing. You glance around, but the Kyoto students are gone, and the cursed energy? It's everywhere, swirling like smoke through the trees. Suddenly, there's a scream. Not close, not yet, but loud enough to shake your spine. You sprint toward it, crashing through undergrowth. And what you see stops you cold. A special grade curse. Not one like before. This one is laughing. It has a flower crown blooming from its skull. Its limbs are twisted like roots. And its voice is calm, almost gentle. But when it moves like a storm. One of the Kyoto students, the third year, tries to stop it. She's fast, precise, powerful, but it doesn't matter. The curse barely touches her, and she crumples. Blood on the leaves. You don't think. You just move. You grab her body and run. The curse watches you go, smiling. When you reach a clearing, Todo is already there. He's dragging 2 other Kyoto students out of the path of destruction. He looks up, sees you, and for once doesn't say anything stupid, just nods. Something's wrong. You nod back. Special grade. He mutters a curse under his breath. You ask where Fushiguro and Nobara are. He doesn't know. The forest is too wide. Too loud now. And more curses are crawling in. Then Gojo's voice appears in your earpiece. Panicked. Sharp. An intruder's disabled the barrier. I can't get in. You ask why. His voice is tight. They've sealed me out. You don't understand. Gojo, sealed? He's the strongest. But now, he's locked outside the fight, which means you're all on your own. You and Todo regroup with the remaining students, both Tokyo and Kyoto sides. All differences? Gone. No more team rivalry. Now it's just survival. And the curses are coming fast, like wolves. Jogo, Hanami, cursed spirits you've never seen before, but feel ancient, terrifying. They're not just here to cause chaos. They're here to kill sorcerers. All of you. The fight is chaos. Everyone moves at once. Fushiguro appears with Nobara, both covered in blood and dirt. Panda crushes a lesser curse with one arm. Maki spins her staff like a whirlwind. And Toge, the quiet boy, whispers, "Explode." And 3 spirits burst like overripe fruit. But it's not enough. Hanami steps into the center of the clearing, smiling, and says, "I don't want to hurt you." Then roots shoot from the ground. You dodge left barely. Fushiguro is knocked back. Nobara is pinned. You run to her, free her. But every time you strike back, Hanami heals. Effortlessly, like you're swatting a tree trunk with a feather. Todo grabs your shoulder, says, "Domain expansion. They'll use it soon." You ask what to do. He grins. "We fight smarter." Then, he activates his technique, and in a flash, the battlefield changes. The cursed spirit, Hanami, looms tall. Its roots dig through the earth. Its laughter is low and constant, not mocking, just calm. Like it already knows the outcome. You stand beside Todo, gasping for breath. Blood on your knuckles, bruises on your ribs. But he looks excited. He rolls his shoulders once and says, "Time to show you my technique." He claps his hands. And suddenly, you're gone. You blink. You were standing beside him, but now you're behind Hanami. The cursed spirit barely reacts, until Todo claps again. And now you're back where you started. He smirks. It's called Boogie Woogie. You stare. Seriously? He grins wider. I can switch positions between myself and anything with enough cursed energy. Like you. You nod, eyes widening, and then you move. The rhythm of the fight changes instantly. Every time Hanami attacks, Todo claps and you switch. From left to right, from ground to air, from behind to ahead. It's disorienting for the curse. For you, it feels like a dance. A violent, brutal dance. But you're in sync. Todo yells out combos mid-swing. You strike without hesitation. Fists glowing with cursed energy. Together, you land blow after blow. Hanami stumbles, and for the first time, it bleeds. But it's not over. Hanami snarls. Its eyes flash red. It slams a hand into the ground and the forest responds. Roots surge from below, branches twist into spears, thorns whip through the air like knives. Todo grabs you and rolls, claps again, switches places, saves you from a fatal hit. But he's wounded now, a long gash across his arm. He winces. Don't stop. You nod. You won't. You gather cursed energy into your fist. Focus. Feel it. Pulse. This time, there's no panic, no fear. Just clarity. You leap Todo switches you mid-air. You appear behind Hanami. You strike. The impact sends shockwaves through the clearing. Hanami screams. Its body cracks. You land beside Todo, chest heaving. The curse staggers. One eye gone. Half its face charred. But it's still not enough. It begins to chant. Low and ancient. And you feel the shift. A domain expansion is coming. Todo growls. We can't let it finish. You ask how. He just says, together. You charge. Last second. Final strike. Hanami is almost done forming the domain. Its energy coils around it like a cocoon. You slam into it, both of you, just before it seals. The explosion that follows is massive. Light, heat, shattering force. When the smoke clears, Hanami is gone. Fled. Wounded. Beaten but not destroyed. You drop to your knees. Todo follows. For a moment, the forest is still, and then he laughs. You're improving. You smile, even though everything hurts. You did it. You survived. Gojo's voice crackles through the comms again. I'm in. You breathe easier. The barrier is gone. The curse users are fleeing, but not all of them, because something darker stayed behind. Something with a plan. Something wearing a smile that looks human. Gojo arrives, and just like that, the cursed spirits retreat. Hanami disappears into the trees. The weaker ones scatter. Jogo, the volcano-headed curse, vanishes without a trace. And for now, it's over. But Gojo doesn't smile. He walks the battlefield slowly, checks each student, each wound, each tree that still hums with cursed energy. His face is unreadable. And when he speaks, his voice is cold. This wasn't random. It was a test. You frown. A test? He nods once. They wanted to see what we could do, and who would survive. Later, the cleanup begins. The Kyoto and Tokyo students limp back toward the temple grounds. Together. No more fighting, no more posturing. Just mutual respect, and silent questions that hang in the air like fog. Who sent those curses? Why now? And what are they planning? Back in Tokyo, you sit on the roof of the dorm, looking at the stars. Everything aches. But you're alive. You think of Sukuna, of the deal you made, of the minute he took from you that you'll never remember. And you wonder, what did he do with your body? What did he leave behind? Meanwhile, far from the school, a man with stitches across his forehead smiles. He's not a curse. He's not a sorcerer. He's something in between. His name is Mahito, and he's fascinated by humans, especially the way they break. He walks among abandoned buildings, where the forgotten sleep on cold concrete. He touches a man's shoulder, and before your mind can finish that thought, the man turns into something else. Twisted, Mishapen. A curse made from a person. Mahito laughs softly, like it's art. Because to him, it is. Elsewhere, Suguru Geto, the mastermind behind the Kyoto attack, speaks with cursed spirits like their old friends. Jogo, Hanami, Mahito, they all sit in a room shaped like a bar, discussing the future. Not just of sorcerers, but of the world. Geto lays it out clearly. Sukuna is the key. If we can push Itadori, let Sukuna out, the balance will shatter. Sorcerers will fall, curses will rise. The others nod. The plan is set. Back at Jujutsu Tech, Gojo meets with the higher-ups. They talk about you. Some still want you dead. Some see potential. None of them truly understand. Except Gojo. He watches you from behind mirrored glasses and thinks, he's more than a vessel. He's hope. Or he's a warning. You don't know any of this yet. You're sitting in the training yard with Nobara. She's throwing rocks at a soda can. You ask if she's okay. She shrugs. Fine. Then she adds, you almost died again, you know. You nod. Yeah. Kinda becoming a habit. She tosses a rock that misses completely. Next time, don't. You smile. I'll try. You don't see the shadow watching you. You don't feel the shift in the air. But somewhere, Mahito has learned your name. And that means everything is about to change. Tokyo glows under pale evening light. You and your new partner, Kento Nanami, walk quietly through the city streets. He's older, sharper, always in a suit, always serious, and completely uninterested in small talk, which is fine. Because this mission isn't like the others. 3 civilians found dead, their bodies twisted in impossible ways, like their bones melted. No cursed energy in the area, no witnesses, no obvious pattern, just pure terror. Nanami leads the way. Cool, efficient, focused. He doesn't trust you yet. You can feel it, but he doesn't treat you like a kid either. He treats you like a sorcerer, and that means everything. You find the morgue, see the bodies, and you wish you hadn't. The limbs are warped, the faces frozen in agony, fingers curled inward like claws. One man has a look of surprise etched into his skin, like he died mid-sentence. You stare too long. Nanami puts a hand on your shoulder. Don't look too hard. It stays with you. Back on the street, you both walk the routes the victims traveled. Nanami explains what he suspects. These weren't cursed spirit attacks. These were humans turned into curses. You blink. How? He doesn't answer right away. Just leads you down an alley behind a theater. There, on the wall, is a smear of cursed residue. Still fresh. Still buzzing. You follow the trail into a subway tunnel. Dark. Empty. You hear footsteps ahead. Not running. Not fast. Just wandering. You turn a corner, and there, in the dim yellow light, stands a boy. Not older than you, smiling. Face too calm, eyes too cold. Hi, he says. You must be Yuji. Your breath catches. You don't know his name yet, but you will. Mahito. He steps forward, and as he does, a limp, barely human creature crawls out from behind him. A person, or what used to be one, now misshapen, mouth in the wrong place, arms like branches, eyes begging for release. You lurch forward, but Nanami stops you. Too late. Mahito touches the creature, and it melts, sinks into the floor. Gone. He looks at you and tilts his head. Humans are fascinating, don't you think? So much potential in their souls. You clench your fists, he smiles. Nanami steps in. He's calm, but you see the tension. Yuji, go, now. You hesitate. Mahito takes a step. Nanami flickers forward faster than you can track and swings. His blade glows, connects. Mahito splits in half and laughs. He reforms like liquid shadow. Ah, I see. You're interesting. Nanami doesn't flinch. Run, Itadori. You do, because you can feel it. Mahito isn't just a curse. He's something worse. A man who chose to become a monster. Later that night you return, alone, because you can't let Nanami face this alone. You sneak into the tunnels, but you're not quiet enough. Mahito hears you, smiles again. Back so soon? The fight begins fast. You throw punches. They land, but he laughs each time, and then he reaches out and touches you. It's instant. The pain hits you like lightning, but it's not your bones or skin that hurt. It's something deeper. Your soul twists for a second like it's been grabbed and shaken. You drop to your knees, gasping, shivering. Mahito tilts his head. That's odd. You look up, teeth clenched. He's frowning. That should have worked. He tries again, reaches toward you. But this time, you dodge just barely. You swing wide and catch him across the jaw. His head snaps sideways, and he laughs again. Interesting. You're different. You're shaking. Not from fear, from confusion. Because what is this feeling? Nanami appears behind you. Bloodied, bruised, but alive. He takes one look at you and says, "He touched your soul?" You nod. He curses under his breath. Then we fight together. The battle blurs. Mahito moves like smoke. His body stretches, twists, reforms. One moment, he's an eel of muscle. The next, a spiked mass of bone. Nanami keeps pace. His technique ratio targets weak points. Precise, deadly. But Mahito just adapts. No matter how deep the wound, he bends and mends. And you? You punch until your arms go numb. Until your cursed energy flares bright and sharp. You hit him. Again. And again. And again. Then Mahito laughs. Do you know why you're still alive, Yuji? You freeze. He grins. It's not that I can't reshape your soul. It's that there's another one inside you. Your heart sinks. Sukuna. Mahito continues. That thing inside you, it won't let me touch your soul. It lashes out like a rabid dog. You remember the last time Sukuna emerged? The violence, the mockery, the control you don't have. You clench your fists. You don't want to rely on him. But part of you is glad he's there, even if he's a monster. Mahito starts forming something with his cursed energy. A sphere. Dense, pulsing. You've seen this before. A domain expansion. Nanami's face tightens. We can't let him finish. But you're already moving. You charge. Too fast to think, too reckless to stop. You reach Mahito just as the domain seals, and somehow you're inside. It's a tunnel of flesh. Walls that breathe. Hands reaching from the ground. A heartbeat echoes all around. This is Mahito's world, and you've stepped straight into it. He turns, surprised, then pleased. You followed me? How sweet. He raises his hand. This time, there's no dodging. You feel it, a direct hit to the soul. And then, the world shakes. A scream rips through the domain. Not yours, Sukuna's. The Curse King erupts. From within you, his face manifests behind your eyes. And he's furious. Mahito stumbles back, panicked. I didn't mean... Too late. Sukuna grabs him by the throat. His voice is calm, but cruel. Don't touch what's mine. Mahito howls. The domain shatters like glass. and you fall back into the subway. Alone, sweating, breathing, alive. You look at your hands. They're still shaking. Nanami kneels beside you. You ask, "Did we win?" He answers, "Number, but we survived, and that's enough for today." The aftermath is quiet, too quiet. You sit in the dim corridor of the subway station, back against the wall, Nanami resting beside you. The air smells like rust and concrete and old blood. Neither of you speak. There's nothing left to say. You both know what almost happened, and what might happen again. Later, at Jujutsu Tech, Gojo visits you. He listens as you explain what Mahito did, how it felt, what Sukuna did in response. Gojo stays silent for most of it, but when you finish, he kneels beside you and says, "He's evolving. Mahito, I mean. He learns from pain, from contact, from every fight." You ask what that means. He stands. "It means next time he'll be worse. Nanami recommends you rest. You try. But your sleep is filled with broken images, twisting bodies." Sukuna's smile, Mahito's voice echoing like a lullaby. "You're just a soul in a shell. Don't get too attached to the shape." The next morning, a new mission. Not combat, recovery. You visit the families of those Mahito cursed. You meet the mother of a boy who was turned. She's small, tired, holding his picture like a lifeline. You bow, you apologize, but you can't bring him back. And you can't tell her what he became, only that he's gone. On the walk back, Nobara joins you. She doesn't ask questions. She just hands you a drink and says, "I hate this part." You nod. "I hate all the parts." But you drink anyway. Training resumes. Gojo pushes you harder. He's more intense now. Even Fushiguro notices. "Something's coming," he says one day between drills. Gojo hears him and says nothing, but you see the truth in his eyes. Meanwhile, Mahito licks his wounds in the dark. Literally. His form is cracked and stitched where Sukuna tore through him. He mutters to himself, draws diagrams of souls in the dirt, smiles at nothing. Then he says softly, "Next time, I'll reshape all of him." And behind him, Geto listens. Cold, patient, planning. Back at school, you train with Todo again. He somehow transferred himself into your life like a permanent storm. He makes you spar until your arms go numb. He asks what kind of shampoo you use. He gives dramatic speeches about friendship. And then suddenly, he looks you dead in the eye and says, "If Sukuna takes over, I'll kill you myself." You freeze. He claps your shoulder, grinning. "Until then, let's keep dancing." Later, Nobara finds you sitting alone. She drops beside you, pulling her knees up. "I still think this whole world is insane," she mutters. You nod. "Yeah." She adds, "But I'm glad you didn't die again." You laugh once. "Me too." Far away, Mahito watches another student from the shadows. Young, untrained, lonely. He smiles. A new experiment, a new soul to shape. It starts with a name, Junpei Yoshino. A quiet student, keeps to himself. No friends, no enemies, just invisible. Until one day, he's found walking out of a movie theater where 3 classmates died in their seats. Not stabbed, not shot, just twisted from the inside out. You're sent to investigate. You don't expect much. Just a lonely kid who might have seen something. But when you find Junpei, he's standing at the beach, shoes off, watching the waves like he's waiting for them to swallow him. You introduce yourself. He doesn't flinch, just asks, "Do you think people deserve what happens to them?" You pause, then answer, "Number, I think people deserve chances, even after they mess up." He doesn't smile, but he doesn't walk away either. You talk for hours. About life, about school, about curses. He listens closely. You realize something. Junpei isn't dangerous. He's hurt, bullied, ignored, and somewhere along the way, someone whispered poison in his ear. Someone like Mahito. You report back to Gojo. Ask if Junpei can be brought to Jujutsu Tech. Gojo says, maybe. Then pauses, adds, but be careful. Mahito plays the long game. That night, Junpei goes home. Mahito is already waiting, sitting on his couch like a friend, a twisted smile on his face. He speaks in soft tones, tells Junpei the truth about curses, about strength, about revenge. Junpei listens, nods, and when Mahito offers him power, he takes it. You don't know this yet. You're still thinking of Junpei as someone you could save, someone like you. The next day, Junpei walks into school, straight-backed, confident. He wears a cursed technique now. Thin threads of energy coil around his fingers. His bullies laugh, call him names. So he raises his hand, and one of them drops, limp, barely breathing. The rest scatter. Junpei doesn't smile. He just walks away. You hear about the incident. You run. Find Junpei alone. Eyes glassy, hands shaking. He tells you everything. How Mahito gave him this. How he chose it. You try to reach him. Tell him this isn't the way. But then, he says the one thing that chills your blood. My mom's dead. You freeze. What? He nods. They killed her. With one of those cursed things. The ones you're supposed to protect us from. Your stomach drops. Because you know it wasn't random. It was Mahito. He planted it. A trap. And Junpei stepped right into it. You beg him to stop. But he lashes out. His technique sharpens. Whips around you like threads of glass. You dodge. Barely. And still try to reason with him. It's not too late, he shouts. It is! Then Mahito steps in. Slow, mocking. He applauds. Says Junpei's soul is ripe. And before you can stop him, he touches Junpei. The scream that follows isn't human. It's a sound of bones snapping, skin shifting, soul breaking. You run, catch Junpei mid-fall. But it's too late. He's not a boy anymore. He's a thing. A puppet of meat and sorrow, twisting in your arms, trying to speak. But no words come out, just pain, just fear. Sukuna stirs inside you, laughing, enjoying the collapse. But you don't care. You scream at Mahito, at the world, at yourself. And Mahito? He smiles. Because this is exactly what he wanted. You lower Junpei's body to the ground. It shudders once, then goes still. What's left of his face looks peaceful, like somewhere inside that monstrous shell. He was still there. You clench your fists. Your throat burns, and for the first time in your life you want to kill. Not just fight, not just protect. You want to end Mahito. He senses it. Smiles wide. Finally, he says, you're starting to understand. You don't respond. You just launch forward, faster than you ever have. Fists glowing, eyes wild. Mahito tries to dodge, but you're already on him. 1 punch, 2, 10. They land. You hurt him. He skids across the floor, coughing blood. Still smiling. You charge again. He shifts forearms, turning to blades. You duck, grab him by the wrist, slam him into the wall. You killed him. You hiss. Mahito shrugs. I reshaped him. That's what I do. You scream, swing again, and again, and again. You don't even notice the cuts on your arms, the blood dripping from your cheek, the cracks in the floor. You don't stop. Not until Mahito snaps his fingers and vanishes into the shadows. You chase down the corridors, into the lower levels. The tunnels echo with your footsteps and his laughter. "You're fun when you're angry, Yuji." You don't answer. You just keep running. Then, a trap. The floor shifts beneath you. Cursed energy slams upward like a geyser. You fall, land hard, dust and darkness swallow you, but you rise. And Mahito is waiting. His arms are shaped into spears. His chest pulses with raw, cursed energy. "This is my domain now," he says, and you feel it, the pressure closing in. Then, a voice. Cool, calm, precise. Ratio technique. Collapse. Nanami steps in from the darkness. His blade glows gold. He slashes. Mahito screams, "You don't waste the opening. You hit him again." And for a second he staggers. Actually staggers. Nanami joins you, back to back, breathing in sync. "You good?" he asks. You nod once. He grunts. "Let's finish this." Mahito tries to separate you, tries to outthink you, but you're not playing his game anymore. You're not reacting. You're leading, driving him into corners, anticipating his tricks. This isn't just rage anymore. It's control. It's purpose. Then Mahito smirks and claps his hands together. The domain expansion begins again. But this time, you're ready. The barrier starts to form. The cursed energy surges, but Nanami's blade cuts straight through it. And you follow it with a punch that breaks Mahito's nose. He howls. His body ripples, trying to recover. But you don't let him. You won't let him. You shout. You don't get to kill people like that. You don't get to laugh about it. And with that, you slam him into the wall, over and over, until cracks spiderweb through stone and bone alike. Mahito screams, twists, escapes, barely. He limps into the dark, body flickering, voice shaken. This isn't over, Yuji. You're still human, and humans, break. Then he's gone. You collapse to the floor. Nanami sits beside you. Neither of you speaks for a long time. Then he says, "You did well." You look down at your hands, still shaking, still red. You whisper, "I wanted to kill him." Nanami looks at you and says simply, "Sometimes that's human too." Days pass. The city moves on. People forget, but you don't. You carry Junpei's memory like a wound that won't heal. Sometimes you dream about him, the real him, not the twisted version Mahito created. He asks if you tried hard enough. You always wake up before you can answer. Gojo calls you in. His tone is different. No jokes, no sunglasses, just urgency. "There's a shift coming," he says. "Something coordinated, organized." You glance at the board behind him. Photos, strings, maps of Shibuya, Mahito, Jogo, Hanami, Geto. They're all working together now. And they've chosen the 31st of October, Halloween. The perfect time for chaos. Gojo looks at you. His voice drops. "This isn't just about fighting curses anymore. They want to collapse the system, trap the strongest." You ask, "You?" He nods once. "They want me." Meanwhile, in the shadows, the cursed spirits gather. They whisper of a prison, a cube that can hold even Satoru Gojo, the prison realm, a cursed object, one of a kind, and they plan to use it in the middle of Shibuya Station, during peak crowds. You return to the dorm. Tell Nobara and Fushiguro what you've heard. Nobara mutters, "So, a curse apocalypse on Halloween. That's just great." Fushiguro is already packing gear. You follow silently, because deep down, You feel it too. This isn't just another mission. This is the mission. Gojo begins his own plan. Splits everyone into teams. He'll go to Shibuya alone. Because if it's a trap, he wants the others out of the blast zone. You argue with him. Beg to go. He smiles faintly. You're not ready yet. You grit your teeth. But what if they seal you? He puts a hand on your head. Then break it open. On the day of the mission, the city is buzzing. People in costumes, laughing, unaware. Beneath their feet, the enemy waits. Curses coil through tunnels like serpents. Barriers snap into place. And Gojo steps into Shibuya Station like a king walking into a battlefield. You wait on standby. Every second feels like a year. You clench and unclench your fists. You can feel something wrong, but you can't place it. Then you hear it. A crackle over the radio. Someone whispers. It started. Deep underground, Gojo faces them. Jogo, Hanami, Choso. Dozens of transfigured humans. And Mahito. They swarm him. One after another. He moves like lightning. Effortless, limitless, but they keep coming. And behind them, Geto steps forward, holding a small, square box. The prison realm. Gojo pauses, looks at Geto, confused, then wary, because Geto is supposed to be dead. He fought him, buried him, and yet here he is, smiling. Not quite the same, but close enough to freeze even Gojo in place. You don't know any of this yet. You're still above ground, still waiting, still hoping. But the moment the box opens, you feel something break. A jolt in the air, a pull on your cursed energy. You grab your chest. Nobara stumbles. Fushiguro looks up. And across the city, sorcerers everywhere freeze. Because Gojo Satoru is gone. It hits all at once, that hollow pressure in your chest. Like the air itself stopped breathing. Gojo is gone. You don't want to believe it. But your cursed energy, it stutters, like a skipped heartbeat. Nobara whispers, "No." Fushiguro doesn't speak. He just stares forward. Because he knows, too. The radio blares, voices shouting, panic. Barriers tightened. They sealed Gojo. Fall back. Wait. No. Then static. You look around. Everyone's frozen. Like the city forgot how to move. You clench your fists. And say what no one else will. We're going in. You break into a run, down the alleys, through side tunnels. The barriers are up shimmering walls of cursed energy that trap civilians inside Shibuya like livestock in a pen. You push through the crowd. People are screaming, costumes soaked in blood. They don't know who to run from. The monsters outside, or the ones walking among them. Your phone buzzes. It's an update. Team assignments are changing on the fly. You're now partnered with Ino and Meimei. You don't know them well, but it doesn't matter. You have a job. Get to Gojo. Break the seal. But Mahito isn't done. Not even close. With Gojo out of the way, he has full freedom to move. He unleashes transfigured humans across the streets. Dozens, hundreds. Bodies with melted faces. Limbs twisted the wrong way, eyes that beg for death. They scream, and they run, straight into the crowd. You throw yourself into the fight, fist after fist. You don't have time to think. Just hit, move, protect. A girl stumbles beside you dressed as a witch, no older than 10. You scoop her up, hand her to a fleeing mother, then turn back. More of them, always more. Somewhere deeper in the station, Chozo waits. Blood-cursed energy dripping from his fingertips. He's hunting you, personally, because you killed his brothers. Or so he believes. You don't even know their names, but he does. Elsewhere, Nanami fights with rage in his eyes. He saw what Mahito did to his students, his comrades, to Junpei, and now he's carving his way through the chaos like a blade with one target. He won't say it out loud. But you both know, this time, one of you doesn't walk away. Underground, you finally find Ino. He's injured, bleeding from the head, but he still gives you directions. Go south, B5 floor. They're gathering. You nod. He grabs your wrist. Yuji, listen, Gojo's gone, so people will look at you, make it count. Then he passes out. You descend, each level darker than the last. Sounds echo, screams, laughter, and something worse, silence. You reach a junction, and standing there is Chozo, eyes red, veins pulsing. He smiles, but there's no warmth in it, just grief and rage. You killed Keikizu, Aso, my family. You step forward. Number I killed curses. Chozo raises a hand. Blood spirals into a needle-sharp spear. You brace yourself. This isn't a street fight. This is an execution, and you're the target. He moves first, faster than you thought possible. You barely dodge. Your shirt tears open. Blood sprays the wall behind you. You punch back, land it. He doesn't flinch, just raises another wave of blood and sends it flying like shrapnel. You're hit, spun. Your vision goes black for a second, then back. You drop low, grab the floor, steady yourself. You scream, charge. This time, with everything. Because Gojo is gone. Because Mahito's still out there. Because civilians are dying upstairs. And because if you fall now, everyone else falls with you. Choso doesn't fight like Mahito. Mahito played with you, toyed with your pain. But Choso, he fights to kill. Every movement is precise. Every strike is punishment. His blood dances in the air like crimson lightning. You try to dodge, but you're too slow. A jagged stream slices your leg. You stumble. He closes in. You throw a punch. He catches it, slams his forehead into yours, and for a moment, everything goes white. You collapse, hands scrambling on wet concrete. Your breath comes in gasps. There's blood in your mouth, and yet you push up, one hand, then the other. You rise. Choso watches you. Something flickers in his expression. Not pity, not mercy, something else. Like confusion, like memory. Then the world glitches. Just for a second, you feel it, like a ripple in your brain. A flood of images that don't belong to you. You see Choso, laughing, smiling, sitting at a table with you, the other curses around you, like family, like brothers. You blink, the vision is gone. Choso freezes, his hands drop, eyes wide. You? He stares like he's seen a ghost, then steps back. I remember you. I shouldn't, but I do. You whisper, "What are you talking about?" He doesn't answer. He just turns and walks away. You don't understand it. You're too weak to chase, so you just fall. Again, down, into the dark. Time blurs. You dream of a hallway, of Sukuna standing in the center. He looks bored. "You're dying again," he says flatly. You ask if he'll help. He shrugs. "Not my turn yet." You wake up hours later. Maybe minutes. Hard to tell. A voice calls your name. Familiar. Fushiguro. You manage to whisper back. He finds you, drags you to safety. You pass out again. Meanwhile, on the other side of Shibuya, chaos has reached its peak. The transfigured humans are multiplying. Nanami is fighting 3 at once. His face is burned. But he doesn't stop. Not until they stop moving. He mutters under his breath, "I hate overtime." Nobara runs through the underground corridors, hammer in hand. Each swing lands with surgical precision. She's faster now, sharper. But she doesn't know what's waiting for her just around the corner. And above it all, in the deepest chamber beneath Shibuya, Gojo sits in silence. Trapped inside the prison realm, eyes closed, body still, but his mind is moving, watching, waiting. Because even sealed, Satoru Gojo is never truly powerless. And you're not done yet. Not even close, because the final act is still ahead. And when it comes, everything will break. You wake up in a haze. Your body aches. Fushiguro crouches beside you, wrapping a bandage around your arm. His face is pale, tired, but alive. You try to stand. Your legs barely cooperate. He helps. "You don't have to get up," he mutters, but you shake your head. "I do." Because Nobara hasn't come back, and something's wrong. You find her near a cracked stairwell. She's barely conscious, blood dripping from her temple. Mahito stands over her, smiling. 2 versions of him now. One real, one clone. Splitting his soul, doubling the pain. You scream her name. She lifts her head, smiles, and then Mahito touches her face. The sound that follows is quiet, just a snap, but it breaks something inside you. Nobara falls, motionless. Fushiguro rushes in. You stand frozen, can't move, can't think. The world slows to a crawl. Your scream doesn't even come out. It just lives in your chest, burning. Mahito laughs. "Ah, so that's what breaks you." You look up, and something in your eyes makes him hesitate. You're not crying. You're not yelling. You're just done. No more hesitation. No more mercy. You charge. Faster than before. He strikes, but you don't dodge. You take the hit, and hit back harder. Again and again. The ground cracks beneath your feet. Cursed energy floods from your skin like a second heartbeat. Mahito tries to retreat, but you're already there. His form flickers, wavers. You strike the real one. He gags. Blood pours from his mouth. "You're adapting," he whispers. You don't reply. You slam him again. He crashes through a wall, tries to crawl away, but for once, he's the one running. Elsewhere, Fushiguro fights to stabilize Nobara, calls for help. Shoko is en route, but it might be too late. It might already be done. You chase Mahito into the tunnels. He's limping now, coughing curses. You feel nothing. No rage, no sorrow. Just purpose. You corner him. He looks at you truly afraid, for the first time. And then, a figure steps between you. Geto, or whoever is wearing his body. The one who sealed Gojo. He smiles. "Well done, Itadori. You've proven very useful. You clench your fists, but your legs won't move. You're drained. Too much blood lost. Too much pain." Mahito stumbles behind Geto, barely breathing. Geto lifts a hand, and in one smooth motion, he absorbs Mahito, consumes him like smoke. You scream, try to stop him, but it's done. Mahito is gone, and the thing standing before you is something worse. You collapse, the world spinning. The war isn't over, but you're not ready for the next one. Not yet. Later, in the silence, you lie on a hospital bed. bandaged, still breathing. You ask one question. Did she make it? No one answers. Just a long, empty silence. Outside, the city smolders. The world has changed. And somewhere in the dark, Sukuna smiles. Because your journey is far from over, and his is just beginning.